Hey, good morning. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart. And today, when I woke up first thing this morning, I saw that the high was going to be 36 degrees. That's cold. Anyway, today, what I want to talk to you about is titled As For You, Follow Me. And this is in quotations because no, I'm not telling you to follow me. If you have kids, often we hear them say, but Johnny is doing this. And when you get on to them as parents, what do? We usually say, well, worry about yourself, not what your brother or sister is doing. Or at least that's what I normally say. Out of this, we're telling them to worry what they are doing, and we're also telling them to really put the question in their mind of who are they following. Sometimes we do things, whether as kids or as adults, and we aren't sure why there is a reason to understand why, or why there's not an understand that. Okay, let me restart that. Sometimes we do things, whether we're kids or adults, and we aren't sure why we do them until there is a reason to understand why. And I believe our answer kind of comes from John chapter 21, verse 21 through 22. And it just talks about, it said, so Peter turned around, saw the disciple Jesus loved following them. That disciple was the one who had leaned back against Jesus at the supper and asked, Lord, who is the one that's going to betray you? When Peter saw him, he said to Jesus, Lord, what about him? If I want him to remain until I come, Jesus answered, what is that to you? As for you, follow me. Jesus essentially said, don't worry about what others are doing, as he will take care of them, but to follow him. Sounds so easy, right? It can be so easy to follow someone that is in our class or work center because they're physically in front of us. And unless we mindfully think and continue reminding ourselves that Jesus is there as well, then we can be so quick to follow someone who also makes mistakes. Then when that person falls or does something wrong, what do we usually do? Do we think bad of them because they were supposed to be a leader, or follow along because they're doing it as well? If you follow them, you will become lost. So just a story from my growing up. Growing up, we moved around. My dad was military, and we changed schools so often. I went to 9 different schools in my 12 years of schooling. And I wanted so bad to fit in. And so over time, I found, hey, if I like what other people like, then I'll be liked. Or if I do what other people do, then I'll be liked. And when it came time to when I was living with my grandparents, it got to a point to where everything that I liked or everything that I did was because other people did it or liked it as well. And when I became a Christian, I remember going to my grandma and saying, Grandma, I don't know who I am. Like, of course, I knew my name, but I didn't know my favorite color. I didn't know my favorite animal. I didn't even really know my personality. I was this quiet person who just kind of ran around with the crowd and did what other people are doing just to try and fit in. My grandma told me, she said, begin to ask God who it is that he's made you to be. So I began doing that, and over time I found that I had this bubbly personality, that I loved monkeys. My favorite color is purple, and I began finding out all this stuff that was me. It wasn't the person that I was following, it wasn't what somebody else liked, that was me. And it was like almost like a gift box opening up. And so I say, if you follow them, you will become lost. It's because we're not all meant to lead and be the same. God made us different, each and every single one of us different. And each and every single one of us has different unique qualities, and we are who we're supposed to be. So my question for you today is, who are you following? Are you following somebody who will make mistakes? Because we are all full of sin. We all make mistakes. Or are you following somebody who is there through thick and thin, who will never leave your side, and the only person with that is Jesus Christ? I hope today this message motivates you. It causes you to reflect on your day-to-day life as far as who you are following. Who are you putting your hope and your trust in? And who are you looking to be that leader that God wants you to be? Now, I'm not saying you can't look and be like, oh, I like what that person is doing. I'm just saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't think that that's the only person that you can get information from. Let your resource be God. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope this inspires you to continue asking and seeking God who it is that He made you to be and who He called you to be, not what someone else wants you to be. I hope you guys have a great day and stay warm. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart.